Well, south of the video store is a show called Off Our Stones. We got Andrew and me and a friend Cody. We're gonna rank some funkin' songs. Rank them songs. The song's gonna and rank songs. The longest list in the whole damn town. Longer than old King Kong. Meaner than a junkyard dog.
It's good to hear that again. Hey, welcome back to Off Our Stones, the show where Brooklyn and I had the stones to make our own top 500 list because we said, screw you, Rolling Stone magazine. And as of this recording, it may be the most apt thing that we could have said. So we are in the section of the list where it is songs that had appeared on both Brooklyn and mine's list. So Cody, the voice of the people, going to be telling us if this is acceptable or if there's something on here that's trash, needs to get rid of right away. Brooklyn and I will also have one veto, as well as Cody's 5 vetoes.
Although, are they vetoes or are they switcheroos? Because last time it wasn't. I'm not going to take a song off. Like, this song needs to be here. So I feel like the parameters of that rule have kind of have adapted, similar to how we have gained powers through the show.
Well, I have 2 powers.
Oh, that's right. Cody also has the switcheroos on him as well.
I have 4 left. I have 5 vetoes and 4 of those because I moved Hurt to the front.
You did. Yes. You did. And you know what? Probably the right move.
Mr. 490 something.
Look, I said what I said and I meant what I said. Let's move on and get this thing started with the song that's going to be number. Oh, Cody, real fast thoughts on this section of the list overall.
I believe there are some good songs, some like, oh, okay, I get it. I'm interested to see why you guys like them because I think there are 2 especially that is more like, really?
I can think of one right away.
Maybe iconic, sure, but does that really translate to both your tastes? I thought that was interesting. And then overall, there were some that, yeah, they're in the zeitgeist. They're in that pop culture range, but I'm interested to see how separated they are on each other's list because I don't believe they're very high. If they were very high, they would be there. I think there's a separation of a few that makes it, I guess, on the list, but probably shouldn't be there.
I will say that even though the song with the biggest gap on our lists is not on this episode, there are some gaps in this section.
This is the one playlist that I looked at that I could tell that there were more probably gaps than normal because it's pretty like obvious that they're like, oh well, I think somebody had this like in the back half and somebody just really digs this song, but we'll see where it goes.
Yeah. Well,
it's not my favorite playlist of the route. I will be honest.
No, we're kind of going through like a second cycle because like we had the ones that we individually had. The first few were kind of like, hear me out on this, and then it got progressively better and better, and like we're going through that same thing, but not as heavy. Like we obviously
there is a certified banger tonight. I will say, fantastic. We'll see where it is. Maybe you can see if you can guess the song.
You know what?
In my taste of music, can you determine what is?
I know what it is. What it is.
Well, I'm gonna write my answer down.
Oh, I'm gonna DM Andrew so that we can.
Okay.
I think I've made my stuff very clear, so this one should be on the dough.
Okay. And I'll text Brooklyn real fast.
And not to date this episode, but this hat is from Nazario. Buy their shit because he bought me this shit, and this team will hopefully kill the G-Men.
of my two teams that are playing tonight, I am hoping for 1-1. I think that is a realistic expectation, given that the Yankees aren't that great right now.
At least you're in the playoffs. Enjoy. At least you're in the playoffs.
For now, we can still tank like the rest of them.
Right.
We still have 2 series against the Rays.
Doesn't matter. You still did better than the Yankees this year and the Mets. Lol. All right, let's move on to the start of this section at number 190. I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry by Hank Williams. Brooklyn, how about you start us off with this one since you have the lower ranking of us?
So I don't know if it was a Mandela effect or just like whenever we first heard this one, I thought the one that we had listened to, like whenever it was originally on Rolling Stone's list, it was like a simpler one. Like the one that was on this one, it was more. There was more production to it, like the strings and like the backing vocals and whatnot.
So,
and it's sorry.
To clarify that one, for some reason I couldn't find that version anymore.
Okay.
So this version is just going to be like a blanket version for that.
Yeah. So my response to that is it's weird because I remember like way back on the debate for the video store, and we were talking about like I remember like Easy on Me came up, and my biggest gripe on that was like where I felt like it was unfinished. I have the opposite effect with this one. It's like I like that stripped down kind of bare bones effect because it hides one of the bigger kind of tropes in country where that bass line is just it's like hitting like the fifth and then the root, and it's that kind of slow kind of walking motion. But the great thing about this is it has that, but then how the steel guitar kind of plays in between and gives this kind of like almost like a skip or like a hop to those steps. And then Hank Williams' voice, we've talked about it before with like Your Cheating Heart. It's amazing how much age there is in it, considering that he was like 27, 28 whenever he was recording this.
This is a song for me where it's the lyrics. The lyrics of this song are the gold point for it. Literally the line, hear that lonesome whippoorwill, he sounds too blue to fly. The midnight train is whining now. I'm so lonesome I could cry. It's just vivid lyricism. Like every word paints a picture of melancholy, and the instrumentation I think really captures that. Hank Williams just had one of those voices that was so good, and it was so its own thing as well. A lot of people try to replicate it, but he was just the real deal, and this is just the real deal of a song. Cody, I feel like this song might be at least respected by you. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. When I lean for the Williams of country music, I lean towards the Junior a little bit more than Hank, but Hank's got such like an interesting voice that I could see, like especially around that time, a lot try to emulate. And it's just simple country, which I like. I think there are better Hank Williams songs, personally, for me. But, like, this one is, like, he sounds like he is ready to cry. Like, the storytelling and the, like, theatrics that he puts into this is, like, super great. And I think it's, like, it doesn't overstay its welcome. It's quick to the point. It's a great song. So I was a little surprised that this made it. I knew you would have it, Bar. I didn't know that Brooklyn would have it, but in the 371s, I think that's telling. Like
it's thanks to a conversation that I had with my grandmother. We had the song on, and she was like, you know what? They don't make songs like this anymore that like they're slow enough where you can sing along and you can like understand the story. And I was like, like that's perspective that I kind of need to take with these older country songs.
That's true. All right, let's move on to number 189 on our list. You Really Got Me by the Kinks. Let's have Brooklyn start again. I think we'll do.
I knew for a fact this was going to be in the low 200s for Bar. I penciled this one down, and I was right.
You were absolutely right.
Yeah. So for this one, I think the production of it, I think is deceptively easy, I guess you would say, because when you hear it initially, it's like, oh, it's power chords, but they're going back and forth, and they're kind of like they're dropping down and then coming back up. The thing that I like about this is actually kind of the similar thing that you find in Born to Run with Bruce Springsteen, how it effectively adds in those like subtle key changes, especially you get into the like oh yeah, you really got me, and then like they just go up one and then up one, and then you have this like you get to the end of it like you really got me, and then like the chug, and then you go right back down, and it resets again, and then you can once again kind of build that tension. I think this is one of the stronger second verses in terms of like the songwriting. Like, please don't ever let me be. I always want to be by your side. I think it's a pretty cool line. And then it's been on the list before, but just I think it's a timestamp for that you like the amp that you use doesn't necessarily have to be used in that way. Sometimes you need to just take a slash into the thing to give it that extra kind of grunge. And it's kind of a placeholder for other later rock songs. 335, I would stand by. I think Andrew's is a tad too high, but if I know how much Andrew loves The Clash, it makes sense as to why this is in like the top half of his list.
I do love The Clash. And you know what else I really love about this song? Power chords. Power chords. Power chords. That guitar riff is just so damn good. You can just ride that thing. It is an amazing riff. I think the thing that I just love about this song is its power in its simplicity. As you said, it's not that complex of a song, but they lean into it so hard and are so committed to it that you have to go along for the ride. And it's not that long of a song either, so that really helps that a lot. His voice on this song is just it's kind of like rubbery, and I kind of just like really like the flexibility that his voice has singing these lines that, once again, not that complicated. It's just a pure energy ride through and through, and I just love it. Cody, you pegged me for this one. Have at it.
This song is overrated as fuck.
God damn
I'm sorry. I just have to be it. Like, it doesn't have any, like, it is in the, like, pop culture. Like, I don't have to know music to know You Really Got Me. It's very, you guys even described it. It's simplistic. It don't overstay his welcome. The lyrics are not hard. His voice, like, nothing in the song would make me, like, once I hear You Really Got Me, I never need to hear it again. It doesn't have that play factor for me because it doesn't do anything new. One, I don't think it's fun to sing along with, which is like, if I had to like put like my limits on like how I rank songs, I've got to be able to have fun, like sing with it, go along with it, do that stuff. I feel like this gets very repetitive. It's like, it's constant. I think it was in a Guitar Hero rock band.
Yes, but that may have been the Van Halen version.
It's just one of those. It's just one of them that I know that I've done, and it's like when your friend comes over and you play Rock Band together, and you're on the drums, and then they say you want to play, and they're like they pick you. You really got really of all the songs I've got so many.
Sorry, it was used twice: Guitar Hero 2, and then the Guitar Hero spin-off of Van Halen.
Okay, so yeah, but like, really, this is the one we're gonna play. That's how I felt when I saw it on the list. I said, really, like, I get it, but I don't get it. Like, yeah, but the thing is, it's not worthy of a veto. Like, okay. I don't hate it that much. I just think that you two are better than this. That's what.
Did you really expect better than me? Did you really?
Well, you put it at 201, which I said this is in 205 to 195, and I was on the money. Brooklyn, I thought, would have some sense, and he did. He kind of, I mean, without agreeing, he kind of with 335. Like, sure, it's there, but it doesn't need to enter that top 250, which he is respectable.
Okay.
Still wish we could have kept track of who had it higher and who deserves the point.
Some of these are too close. Some of these are too close.
Somebody wanted to quit while they were ahead.
No fun.
Yeah.
Join us for soundtracks or some other list that we make later. Bye.
Probably music videos.
Like it.
One-hit wonders maybe as well.
Yeah.
Those are options. Music videos would be really fun. All right. Moving on to 188 on our list. Blinding Lights by The Weeknd. I'm going to start because I have this lower. Cody's. I don't know.
165! You deserve to be blinded and hit by a truck. What is wrong with you?
Jesus Christ. Okay, so first of all, while I do still think that this song deserves to be on the list, having re-listened to it again today, it is crafted incredibly well. It's produced phenomenally. This is some of the best vocals that The Weeknd's had. It's got that driving energy, and I love that "Take on Me" interpolation that they use throughout. I will also say, though, I almost decided to veto this because it's too damn high on our list overall. But it deserves a spot, so I'm going to let it stay. Brooklyn? You are muted, good sir.
Thank you. So I absolutely stand by the 165 placement for a couple of reasons. One, he's a Canadian, so that's instantly gonna be bonus points for me.
Well.
Second of all, this got turned into a meme and it didn't die. It had the humor elements because you would often see this one for I think the first time I saw it, it was like a nurse or like a tech telling a nurse something that they shouldn't have, and it's like it holds like that ooh moment. It's admittedly funny, but I think the synth in this is extremely catchy. Like this can't be overplayed, because you have those like low kind of bright synth that comes in, and then you have that main riff over top of it. It's almost like the perfect song for like 4 or 5 a.m. on like a Friday, Saturday night, and the lights are coming up, being like, hey, like the night's over. Maple syrup, thank you very much. Let's be very specific about that. But yeah, I think the pre-chorus in this is the most effective part. Like I look around, city's cold and empty, and then you have like the little that kind of fades off, and it's like and then you get to like I can't see clearly when you're gone, and it's like that. The little drum beats, like the kind of slows down, and then you hear the drum, but you hear the snare, and it's like, pop, pop, and then gets right into the chorus. The lines in the chorus, I can't sleep until I feel your touch. I think is the one that everyone kind of goes back to. But yeah, I love it for the replayability. I could listen to this endlessly.
Just real quick fact before we move on to Cody. This song is now officially the most successful song in the history of the Billboard charts. It overtook The Twist. Wow. So, Cody, what do you think of this legendary song?
People are morons. Okay, anyways.
Let's hear this.
Listen. I hope, I think The Weeknd is very overrated. If you want my honest opinion, I don't think he's that great. I really hope, because he reminds me of,
what songs have they done?
No, he just reminds me of Bruno Mars, but the less version of him. That's just how I've always felt. I ain't wrong, but
Brooklyn's
my
about
take.
to.
I just learned something really interesting about Brooklyn, and it's fine. But I just didn't know when he became like a 13-year-old preteen like girl, where he just loves TikTok sounds. Like anything that's TikTok and catchy, he's just like, "Ooh, I'm all on 165, slap it down because it's got a freaking Canadian singer." You're trash. Your opinion can't be valid.
So when I made my list, like I went through each song individually, and I was like, all right, let's like have it hit these head-to-head matches, and I had like a couple like gatekeepers in mind, and as I was going through, I was like, yeah, it gets through the 400s, it gets through the 300s, it gets through the twos. I think the riff and the chorus hold up. The response to him being similar to Bruno Mars, I think there's a slight difference. They cater to kind of different crowds. Bruno is more of a crooner, and as we've seen with like Silk Sonic, he is leaning more into the funk. Whereas with The Weeknd, he's kind of taken everything about like 2010s like pop and like top 40 stuff and taken the good qualities out of that. Like kind of took out like those generic kind of like 808 drum beats and threw in something a little more impactful. Honestly, I Can't Feel My Face would be another one to throw in here. I think that's the only other one that I would consider for this list, just because I think that bass line is great.
I'm still pissed off about his Super Bowl performance. It was terrible. So.
That was during COVID, though. Like, what was he supposed to do?
Oh, please tell me how when you're a singer, like you can do something different than what that was.
I don't even remember his performance. I think
I don't need 20,000 people jumping at the stage and dancers. You're the singer. Entertain me. Do better.
So what
we all got
saying
COVID
is
here. Smile.
He wanted the Maroon 5 performance where it was Adam Levine. It's like, oh, I'll take my shirt off and you can just watch me sing.
You did not have to do that. You knew you did not have to do that. How could you have done that? Can you live with yourself?
Thank you, Mr. Producer.
Justin Timberlake. That's the performance.
All right, moving on to number 187 on our list.
165 is suicide. Go ahead.
Blueberry Hill by Fats Domino. I see Cody already rolling his eyes and turning his screen off, which is a great start.
I don't understand the hate for this one.
It's honestly once again, it's a simple song with complicated elements to it. First of all, that melody is just beautiful. It is instantly catchy. There's a warmth to it that I just really appreciate. Fats Domino's voice is just utterly rich, and I love that. He's just a great singer. Dude was a talented pianist.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like, you hear him play, even if it's not on this song, if you just hear him play in general, dude was one of the best. And he just, there's just something about this song that just really has an emotional relevance for me, even if I can't place what exactly that is.
So for me, I think it's how the piano and the horns are kind of mixed. They're not like battling for the spotlight. It's kind of like taking like, all right, well, you can be in the front, and then pianist can be in the front. But I think that opening riff in particular shows how much control that he has in the song, especially when he's doing that little trill. Because I imagine, like, when you're trying to do this live, it would be kind of natural to kind of speed it up in there. And that, because whenever you have it that slow, it kind of keeps the feeling of the song, and how it's kind of meant to be a drag. But yeah, I think this is one. Yeah, it's been on the list. I think both iterations.
Yep.
yeah, it's kind of similar to how we were talking with I'm So Lonesome, I Could Cry. That simplistic sort of approach, I think, just works. Yeah. Especially given when they were like wall of sound and everything was kind of like muddy.
Cody, I thought I saw you rolling your eyes earlier. What are your thoughts?
No, I mean, we're just getting to a point of the list where it's like the top 200, and like this song's fine. Like, it's simplistic. It's same as the Lonesome I Could Cry. I have no problems with it. I think it's a good vocal. I think it's very like I don't know if it's iconic in that regards, but like as soon as Blueberry Hill, like I knew exactly what it was before listening to it, and I wouldn't say like I'm an active listener of the song. But again, I think 360 probably where it probably deserves to be overall. I don't think it needs to be this high, but again, math. I've did a show for like 200 episodes. I'll tell you exactly the math sometimes sucks, so it makes sense. So.
You better be thanking us, internet. All right, let's move on to number 186 on our list. Summer in the City by the Lovin' Spoonful. This is a song.
I forgot where you have this. What the fuck were you thinking?
I know. I was about to get into that. Having re-listened to it today, it would be higher on my list. I think when I compare it to Do You Believe in Magic, I still like Do You Believe in Magic more. But Summer in the City has just got this grimy sweatiness to it that just really captures the heat of like a hot summer day in the middle of a city. John Sebastian, who usually has like a very like comforting, smooth kind of voice to him, it's not quite gravelly, but it's a lot deeper and scratchier than it normally is, and it really fits with this. That piano, like that keyboard line is perfect. The moment you hear it's just one of the greatest piano lines in music history, in my opinion. There are just so many things about this song that work in its favor. I should have put it higher on my list when we first made it.
It's crazy that a song with multiple car horns, not just one, multiple car horns, to kind of create that ambiance of just kind of like being in traffic and kind of like the sleaziness or the concrete jungle, I guess if you will. To go off of that piano we were talking about, similar to kind of like how the Who would do it with like You Won't Be Fooled Again, I think is the one that I'm thinking of. It cuts all the tension that was built at the start, ramps it right back up, and then the drums just kick it right back in, and then they go right back into that first verse. I think the guitar work in this is great, like especially the little like almost a counter melody in the middle, like the do 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 do. And then I always appreciate vocalists that can go a mile a minute, but you can still understand like what they're saying. And that's hard to do, especially when you get into like the ending of the verses, because it sounds like he's even getting faster on that last line while the band is simultaneously going fast with him, but not as accelerated, I guess you would say. 400 is too low. The fact that
I agree.
I think 221 is pretty good. I'd even like the 186 might even be closer to like its true value. But yeah, I think I know where Cody stands on this, but we'll see.
Was that my cue?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Normally Andrew introduced me, so it's weird when this one does.
It's a team effort here.
I know, but it's normally creature of habit. Sorry. I'll get there in a second. Barr said something that I do agree with. I believe Do You Believe in Magic is like, no, I don't know if it's a better song, but I will say it's more like a nostalgia, like comfort, like song. Like I love that song because of like as much as it's been used. This song is awesome. The song is awesome, like overall. I've heard it prior to this, like overall, but like I know it's been featured in movies, like it has to at this point. But like if it's not, like it's like a montage of like New York City with the start of this song, like would just play super well. It's so cool, and I thought I was gonna hate it when it like slow, like it breaks, like the song breaks basically goes into like a huge like instrumental or whatever moment, and I was like, you're kind of, and then how it goes right back into the and I'm like, okay, this is pretty sweet. So it's probably a song I haven't really heard fully until this playlist. Like I've heard the song, but like actually listened to it a couple times. Good song. Probably 300, not 4. Maybe 2 is a little high, but overall respect.
Nice. All right, let's move on to number 185. It Takes Two by Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock. But Mr. Producer, man, why is there an E at the end of Rob? Okay, whatever.
Robe.
Yeah, Rob Bass.
Does not spell.
So, Brooklyn, you're going to start us off with this one.
Yeah, I love the kind of the sampling in this, like the little, like oddly enough, the screams, like it starts at like the low one and then the admittedly like high one that's almost kind of like memed, and whatnot. But I love the ending of this, especially like when they're just basically they're using like the "It Takes Two" line as a way to kind of loop and reset. I think Rob Bass is doing an incredible job with the rhythm in this and how he's playing with the beat. There's a phrase that I've loved to use. I use it a lot with Andre 3000, but when you roll over on the beat, where like you're using so many like 8th and 16th notes that you eventually like get back to where you were at the start. Like you're kind of like starting, like you're on, like normally with rap, you'd be on like the 1s and the 3s. But I think this one, there's moments where it's on like the 2 and the 4 and then comes back in. And I always appreciate that. This like just the subtle use of guitar in this, like to give it that one kind of like rock element, and this is like ultimately a dance song. I think we kind of nailed this for spotting. Again, I think the math might have put it a little bit higher than needed. But yeah, I think this on the list, this was like the 400s or so. So I think it's gone up.
It was higher.
Oh, it was higher. Okay.
It was higher, yeah. There's going to be a small recurring theme throughout this episode I have found as I was listening to it in my car, and that is this fucking song slaps. It is one of the best songs to dance to. That groove and that energy, amazing. Rob Bass's flow on this, it's not the most complicated thing, but it is so effective. His delivery is incredible. It is just an absolutely infectious song. Yes, the Whopper line. Yes, I do love that line because fuck the Big Mac. But yeah, it is just that bass line that carries that groove throughout the song. It's so simple, but it is so effective. And I love the breakdown at the end. DJ Easy Rock gets a chance to shine himself. So it is a very, very tight teamwork from this group. Yeah, absolutely certified banger. Cody is already bobbing his head to it, so let's go to him.
I freaking love this song. I would say this is probably, if I had to, like my most quoted song, probably of my entire life. I don't know how many times I've said I want to rock right now. I'm Rob Bass and I came
I
to
came to
get
get
down.
down.
I'm not internationally known, but I'm known to rock a microphone. It's so good. I didn't know who Rob Bass was. I don't give a dang, but I sang this all the time. This song rocks. And then that kick of it takes two. Like it's such a good song. If you left me in charge of this, which you kind of do, I could move this all the way up. I may wait for that, but like this could be like in my top like 150. I think it's so much fun. It's simplistic in this like rap. It doesn't get crazy, but the lines are so catchy and it makes it just so much fun. Like this is a song like if you guys are in a club or like like anything and this song came on, it's just like let's go. Like it's got the slow parts, but it's got those moments. So. Love it. Great choice.
Yeah. All right, cool. We're on Cody's good side right now. Let's see if that continues. I don't know. Moving on to number 184 on the list as Cody disappears. Number 184 is Flashlight by Parliament. Brooklyn, you're going to be starting us off with this one.
Yeah. So for this song, the place that it has on the list of the many funk songs, you know that face you make when there's like a really kind of like mean soul and you're like, oh damn, like it's like that's what it is. Kind of like it's like they're really like out there, almost like alien-esque sort of sounds with like the synth. But I just love how like the keys and like the horns are kind of like doing all the flashy kind of work, pun intended. But the drum is just in the back and it's just 1, 2, 1, 2. That's all that it needs to do because you need to hear the drum and the snare just to kind of have that flow in it. There's a lyric that I want to pull up here. Andrew, you go for a little bit and I'll find that certain section.
Okay. This song makes me Flashlight. Yo, the groove in this is so great. Bootsy Collins' bass line in this is so damn good. And I like there are so many things going on in this song that I don't even know what some of the instruments are. I feel like that one, it's whatever that one thing that's got like the pen is, and it just like creates this sonic atmosphere.
Like like the same thing in Crazy Train.
No, it's like the like I can't remember what that thing is called.
The xylophone.
No, it's that it creates that like almost computer-esque kind of like whirring that like whatever. I can't do it.
Oh, okay.
But there's just like so much going on in here, but it's so well contained. It doesn't get out of control. It's produced phenomenally. And everyone who's working on this song sounds like they are having the time of their life. And I love that little bit at the end where it's just that little a cappella moment that they loop and fade out at the end. It just creates a perfect ending for it. Brooklyn, were you able to find that lyric?
Yeah, I think it's just like the most of all he needs a fun and help him find the fun. Like that's we were talking about like how you can go fast and you can still hear the lyrics. I don't need the words of this because I feel like in a dance crowd, everybody's just kind of like na 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 because that melody is just catchy enough on its own.
Cody, what do you think?
I've definitely heard the song prior to this, but like the start, I don't think listened through it. Listen, this is here because of the instrumental of this song. That's where it is for you guys, and that's never going to rank very high for me. I think it's talented. I think it's cool, but like it overstays its welcome pretty quick for me on multiple listens. So, sure. I mean, again, if you're going to put it on 398 sounds better than 216, but 184 sounds egregious.
Okay.
Math.
All right, let's move on to number 183. "Oh Pretty Woman" by Roy Orbison.
Tell Zach Ford how to say that name. Go ahead.
Yikes. Brooklyn, you're starting us off again here.
Man, what a product of its time, I guess you would say. Like, considering songs were made a lot shorter back then. Like, I think the Beatles kind of really hammered down that idea of like a song being like 2.5 minutes long. It just gets in and out, and it's great. You can follow along with that drum beat. I think the guitar, like that one kind of line, and then how they build off of that. But much like we do with Taylor Swift songs, we got to talk about the bridge. The like Pretty Woman, Stop a While, Pretty Woman, Talk a While, and just that like that opening chord. I think it's a D minor, or something along those lines. Thank you, Cody. But it's out of the natural chord progression that you would use for that song. I will probably get corrected on it in the comments, hopefully. But yeah, and then just
fire shit.
Yeah. And then just the little role that he has in Mercy. I just think it shows how much of a showman that he is. 403 is too low. This should be going up higher the way that I'm talking about it now. But yeah, it's a great song. You can overplay it at times. But yeah.
Yeah, no, this song is just so much fun. It's produced so well. Like, the mixing on this song is absolutely incredible because you get every instrument just like perfectly placed in the mix. I love it's gonna sound weird, but I love the snare on this song. It just creates this like impactful energy that builds and builds in this song. The one thing I love the most about this song is the storytelling, especially at the end, where he's pining over this woman that he's just like randomly sees in the streets, and then at the end, she like keeps walking as he passes by her, and he goes, "Okay, well, I had my moment," and then what do I see? And like she starts walking back towards him, and it's just really, really well told, uh, clever storytelling. And Roy Orbison just has one of those voices, man. Like his voice was so good.
And one that carried on as well. Like when you get into like his Traveling Wilburys phase and like his verse and end of the line, it sounds pretty much just the same.
Yeah, like if you listen to this, you listen to Travel Wilburys, you listen to I think the song's called "I Got It." His voice was just like incredible throughout the decades. So yeah, this one, once again, real simple, just real effective. Yeah, I'm very curious to see where Cody what he thinks about this one though.
It's overplayed to nth degree for me. I've heard the song a lot. I don't love it because it's like it just I've heard it all my life, so like it doesn't hold that much weight. I've never like listened to like I never like let's listen to Pretty Woman. Like nah. Like he's got a good voice and I think the song stands and I think the song is still good. It's just sometimes pop culture. It's like every like I don't know, romantic movie or like coming of age movie when you hear "Oh Pretty Woman" like play, like they use it because it has such a great like entrance to a thing, or a girl that's out of the guy's league, like it's just played, so it's used a lot. So he's got an insane voice. Like the Mercy line, like every time I laugh at it, Mercy. But like it doesn't not in the music, but definitely probably deserves to be on a 500 list.
All right, let's move on then to number 100.
Respectful.
Let's move on then to number 182. Free Bird by Lynyrd Skynyrd. Brooklyn is starting us off again.
36.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think what kept it low, or why my perception of it was kind of like is that it was the Guitar Hero song for a while. I think it was actually on Guitar Hero DS, was like Guitar Hero 2. But that was the first. It was also on the DS version, because I remember watching people play it. There was an accessory for it. It was only 4 buttons. What a time to be a Nintendo fan at the time. But I've grown to appreciate this song, because actually over the summer I finally heard a cover band play it, and I could watch a band into that second half forever. I love the rhythm section in it. I think that is an overlooked aspect of it, because everybody loves the guitar solo, but like the rhythm guitar is just having so much fun there, especially when they like stop and they're in that same chord, but they're letting, it's like you hear the chord and then the solo comes in, then you go to the next chord. But also how they transition into that. I think the kind of like the church organs kind of have that nice softness, but then like the kind of almost the steel pedal aspects of the guitar help it, and like and the spirit you cannot change. Lord help me, I can't change. And then it gets into that. But yeah, 471 is a perfect spot for it. It doesn't get, like, I know we were talking about a couple episodes ago with like Country Road Take Me Home, where that got overused and a lot of like needle drops and stuff. This is kind of there, but not as much.
Well, because the perfect use of that song has already been used for a movie, let's be honest. I love every aspect of this song. Some people are going to say that the first half of this song or the first third of this song doesn't match the tone or like the strengths of the other 2/3. I really love the first part of this song. Van Sant, it just sounds so good on this. His rich, like thick, buttery, so almost soulful kind of vocals is just absolutely perfect over this instrumentation. I love the sliding guitars that come in and out of it. But it is that other 2/3 of the song that bump it up so high for me. That is just to be able to maintain like that kind of ear candy quality where you're not losing interest at a point. There's always something new, or they're always coming back to something that really worked well. I think that it's just an amazing piece that absolutely is bumped up this high on my list by the other two, by the that last 2/3 of the song. So let's go to Cody. And the mute button's on.
Yes. Okay. So point number 1 for really this song with U2, 136. Oh boy, Brooklyn throwing shade at 136 when he has fucking Weekend at 165. It's just like Glass House, friend, Glass House. But here's the thing. I think this song has a great message. Great message. Like overall, like such like an eerie kind of song, like just playing. I love it. I love how that works. The problem is, and I don't know how long this was a thing, but it was for me growing up. Okay. And it was since then probably still. Play Freebird!
Yeah.
Play Freebird! It's the joke song that you wanted to have everybody play. It's also, I always had a douchey friend that liked to play it on Guitar Hero and like show how cool he was while I was playing like on medium and he was like on extra. Like, fuck off. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, yeah. The song's 9 minutes. It's so insanely long. You take up all the attention to hit, and like, I think the song, it deserves in that pop culture. Like, Freebird is a song that stands the test. The problem is, it shouldn't be 136. It shouldn't be 82. It should be in that 400. I'm okay with that. I just don't think the song like travels to like the line.
Cody, do you know where that Freebird meme started, or like what concert?
I'm not 100% sure. No.
You'll never guess because it's mind blowing. I think it's the only time you ever hear of this person like in a music concert. Florence Henderson.
What?
The first time? Yeah, I think it's an Uncle John's bathroom reader. It's like these weird little facts. But yeah, the first time that is used is at a Florence Henderson
concert. I didn't even know that she put on concerts, to be completely honest with you.
Neither did I.
Interesting. Whoever shouted that at a Florence Henderson concert, you're a dick, but you're a legend.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to number 181, Anarchy in the UK by the Sex Pistols. I'm going to go first on this one. We had this relatively close, actually. Yeah, it's that snotty attitude that this song has. The guitar in this is great. It's not complicated, but it's really, really effective. And it's just that wild, chaotic kind of energy that I do really love about like 70s punk. There's not really much for me to say about this one. It's just the energy, and I love it.
Shout out to another Guitar Hero song. I believe this is Guitar Hero 3 and like the middle of the game or so. I think there's a Black Sabbath song in the same set. But yeah, I'll kind of go off of what Andrew said. There isn't like a ton here. I do like the re-listenability of it because whenever you're first listening to it, it sounds like that standard punk song, and that's kind of what this is. Like this is in the Mount Rushmore of punk essentials. But when you go back to it, similar to what I was talking about with like Freedom 90 with George Michael, you hear the little triple kind of strums in between each transition, and that's where I'm like, oh, okay, they are trying to like throw a little bit of flair in there and whatnot, and it isn't like the punk version of like Three Chords and the Truth.
Cody, let's move on to you then.
Yeah, sure. I will be honest. I'm not very familiar with the Sex Pistols. I don't like venture through a lot of their songs. I just laughed really hard when I am the Antichrist. I guess I'm like, God, this guy's whiny as fucking shit. And like, cool. And he just keeps going like, I just feel like, I'm guessing UK. Don't know if that's accurate, but I'm guessing a British band. But
Yep,
this
absolutely.
dude sounds like a person that cheers for like Manchester United and has hammered his ass off and like Josh, like that's how they sound to me. So sure, I mean that's fine. I can definitely tell why this could be somebody's like complete jam. Like before, like punk bands of the 2000s for some people, like this had to be like top notch for those people in that era. So I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. It was a mixture of it. So you guys have it probably if you were going to include it because you guys have a little bit more respectable taste on music than me. That seems more reasonable than 181, but again, math sucks. So we move on.
I don't know if this is necessarily a song that's respectful.
I feel like it honestly sounds like Coho.
Yeah.
Listen to me, I have blue
is a
hair.
top 5 quarterback.
I have red and blue and green and colorful hair. Listen to me.
Somewhere out in Minnesota, a wild co-host screams into a pillow and does not understand why. Let's move in.
No, he knows why.
Moving on to number 180. Brown Eyed Girl by Van Morrison. Brooklyn, you're starting us off again.
Yeah. So when you guys talk about "Do You Believe in Magic" as like this kind of like nostalgia song that kind of makes you feel good, this is that song. That song for me. It's one of the first ones I learned on guitar. Like a lot of guitar players, it's kind of one of the first ones because it's just G, C, G, and then D7. It just repeats that. But that opening line of like. And then just how it kind of repeats that, but then you have this like really effective bass line that isn't doing like too much, but is providing a little bit of a counter melody with also having the bass notes. I like the build up in the bridge in this, and like I think any song that has like Sha Na Na or La 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 is usually going to be a good one. But then you have like that happens, and then they cut to like just the bass line. And then similar to how we were talking about with which one was it? Like Summer in the City, you just have the drums, it comes back in, and then he comes in like because he was pretty subtle up until this part, but then he gets into like the "So Hard to Find My Way," and it's not so much he's singing with the melody. That sounds like almost like a cry, like "So hard to find my way now that I'm all on my own. I saw you just the other day. My how you have grown." It's a way to kind of like reminisce. Like this is kind of like it was like the girl next door or like the one that got away. Not my fate. Like I think it's the most re-listenable Van Morrison song, but I think it's the best one. I think there's more coming up a little bit later. But it's one that had to be on the list.
Yeah, I agree. There's a nostalgia about it. But it's also baked into the song, that nostalgia. So I think that just makes it the perfect piece for that. I love there's like a bubbly like effervescence to this song. It's just so refreshing when you hear it, and it's just so happy and jaunty. I love Van Morrison. Like his voice is so good. Say what you want about the man, but his singing is incredible. One little touch I love about this song, and Brooklyn, correct me if I'm wrong, but the only time that there's any clapping is on the 4. Like,
let me look.
It's not even on the 2. It's which like, traditionally when you're clapping, it's on the 2 and the 4. It's just on the 4, and I really liked that little bit. Yeah, it is just a joyful, delightful song by one.
You're right. It is on just the 4. That's I never noticed that. Nice.
Boom. I'm gonna just end it there. I'm not gonna top myself.
I could have told you that, but oh, jeez, don't you know anything? We've got to the point of the thing. This is the certified banger of the night.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Brooklyn was right. I said Summer in the City.
Okay. It is close, but like this song is like, if you know me, like in my kind of music, like, and how this show has like progressed, you kind of can pick it out. This is a banger. Like it is one of the most feel good songs. It is such a like easy going but beautiful vocals, and then I love the part. Do you remember? And then da 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 da. It's just joyous. Like there are singers like that just get a song that's just so catchy, but it plays so well. So yeah, there's no question. When I saw this, I was like, this is good. This is a good one.
Nice.
It Takes Two was close to being the other one.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense actually.
But that just is obvious. Like that.
Well, yeah.
That's a crowd pleaser.
All right, let's move on to a song that's even happier and more joyful on this list, Heroin by the Velvet Underground.
2023, well done, guys. You put a song called Heroin on your top. You had a choice and you guys chose, so I'm just saying.
Brooklyn almost picked I Can't Feel My Face. So, and that one's about cocaine. Brooklyn, you're starting us off again.
I love this song. I found this out because of the list, and it's gone up tenfold because of all the different instruments and how they're kind of having an effect. So like the like that elongated like guitar, like I think it's just like the one note, or maybe it's just like the amp turned up super loud, but you get that nice ambiance, and that's kind of like meant to mimic like the numbing effect. And then you have the little intricate guitar on top, and I think that's kind of like almost like your eyes are kind of like the vision that you have, because it's like all the things that you're kind of like thinking about at that time. But then as the song builds up and ramps up, you hear this like, it's either the floor tom or the bass drum in particular, but that almost resembles like the heartbeat, and how it eventually like you kind of like your heart kind of races, and it speeds up and whatnot, and like it's true, not like not with that, but like when you smoke weed, like when you come down, like your heart's racing like a mile a minute. So there is that kind of way to kind of like relate to it. I think this is Lou Reed's best song. I think his soloist kind of really appreciates for it. I don't know if anybody in here has been watching Painkillers, but this is used expertly in it. It's just a nice little needle drop. Yeah, I think it's really cool.
Yeah, this is a song that I don't necessarily love listening to, but I have to respect the hell out of its craftsmanship. As Brooklyn brought up, the floor toms like recreating like the sound of a heartbeat. Just the instrumental storytelling usage of like the change in tempo. Just a while that lingering sense of dread from that like the scratchy instrumentation just playing throughout the back the entire time, just creating that like nagging feeling of addiction. So I was kind of thinking about vetoing this one to put on another Velvet Underground song called All Tomorrow's Parties. But I just respect the hell out of the craftsmanship of this particular song so much. It's just so effective in what it's trying to do. This is one, though, I was kind of worried about when thinking about Cody listening to it. So let me know what you thought about this one.
What? Is that me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I missed it. Sorry. What do you guys think I thought of the song?
This is not a Cody song.
Yeah, not a Cody song.
Similar to the drug heroin, not a fan.
Let us make that very clear. I think we're all anti-heroin.
Yeah, and I love that he's like, can't feel my face in this about cocaine. I think it's well known that heroin worse than cocaine. But I didn't want to put that out into the world. But yeah, it is.
Don't do drugs.
Here's the thing. Don't do drugs. Well, if it's legal, do drugs. Okay, anyways. I can't say that with somebody else on this call. Okay, let's be real. I can't say don't do drugs. But here's my thing. The song played like if I was on heroin. And I don't know if that's the point. It sounds like I go slow and then it gets bigger. I think that's the point.
That's exactly
right. Similar, I don't think I would enjoy that ride. I didn't enjoy this ride, personally. But I respected it, not worth vetoing. Yeah. Like, I understand why this is on there for you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, as I said before, I don't really re-listen to this one unless it's for something like this. But it's just so well made.
Schindler's List.
Yes.
You don't want to watch it, but when you watch it, you respect the craft.
Better comparison, Trainspotting. So
very on the nose.
Yes, exactly. If there's one thing that Andrew Barr is,
Heroin was so good they made a sequel.
That should have been the tagline. All right, moving on to number 178.
Chase that high one more time.
Ace of Spades by Motorhead.
Triple H would be so proud of both of you.
Yo, the guitar, like the energy in this is just absolutely insane. It's like you're being on like this. It's like you're in a car and it's going like 140 miles an hour, but there's like no like danger on the road in front of you, except that there is because you're going 140 miles an hour and you're not driving safely. But yeah, Lemmy is on this song is just like his voice is just so fucking perfect for this sound. It's another one of those songs where it's like the energy, the groove, the drive, just like how it grabs you by the collar and just says, "Here we fucking go," and just like starts off strong and never lets up. It is just like a perfect song for like to pump you up if you're like in the middle of something. I'm just stumbling over my own words right now. Brooklyn.
Yeah. So, as a Tony Hawk's Pro Skater lover, great. It's a great song. It was used in those games. I could play that game and listen to this for hours. Or actually, I'll get into the music first, and I'll get into the lyrics. The music, I love that galloping. Because I think this is like when people think of thrash metal, like this is kind of like the grand opus of it, because you get that mile a minute sound, but it sounds very controlled and there's a nice kind of flow to it, especially when you get into the almost guitar solo, but not really. It's kind of like a lick over top of like Lemmy's vocals. But then you get into the lyrics of this, and I really appreciate this as somebody who has worked in the casino industry for years, because it's written from the perspective of like a dealer or like a bookkeeper or something along that line. Like the opening line, "If you like to gamble, I tell you I'm your man. You win some, you lose some. It's all the same to me," because like you're there just to like take action or whatnot. Then you get into like the pleasure is to play. It makes no difference what you say. I don't share your need, and then you learn like. It was kind of like a light bulb moment for me. This song is about blackjack, and it's about that game. But then you get into like the end of it, and it's like, "I see it in your eyes. Take one look and die. The only thing you see, it's going to be the ace of spades." And I think that's a great line because, for gamblers, like you don't remember the wins, or like you remember the wins. And like the kind of the grander aspect, it's kind of like one vague moment, but like the losses, the big losses, you can almost pinpoint them. And I think that this does a good job of representing like, oh yeah, this is the moment, this is the time where like they pulled over the ace of spades and like it was over. And I thought that was a really cool way of it not just being this like kind of headbanger metal song. There was kind of a message to it. You muted.
That was gonna pass it on to Cody anyway. So,
listen, Ace of Spades, Motorhead, good song. It's definitely like one of your dad's favorite songs. But I can't
it's like a cool
say,
band.
as somebody that grew up as a WWF fan, and the fact that we did not put the cerebral assassin Triple H, either the game or the King of Kings, is a disgrace. Two better Motorhead songs. I stand by it both. The game is like nostalgia as hell. That's what I'll say.
Okay. Fair enough.
Spit the water. Suck it.
Did Cody just tell us to suck it on our own show, Brooklyn?
Listen, I think Triple H, like today of recording, he's having a pretty good day. Vince McMahon is no longer the majority owner of WWE. It is now like TKO, whatever the merger they did with UFC. So I think Triple H is doing pretty good.
Sure.
Yeah, he's the game.
Shout out to Triple H. All right, moving on to number 177. "Fuck the Police" by NWA. I wish I had the John Mulaney clip ready for this. It's just a sea of kids going, "Fuck the police." I have it higher, so I'm going to go first or lower. Yeah, this is just raw, righteous fury. And honestly, the way that they spell it out in the song, I get it. It's presented in a way that's just really smart, and I love like the little sketchy parts of it, especially at the end where that one guy who's playing the cop just hits it that last line so hard, but it's really effective. There's just an energy. It sounds like a movement. Like this has that movement energy to it. So yeah, absolutely worthwhile. Absolutely one of the greatest songs ever made. One of the most important ones. One of the best made. One of the greatest in general.
So before I get into my thoughts, well, one, three white guys talking about the injustices of the Compton police system. But my real question here, were these skits really kind of prominent at the time, or is NWA kind of like the trailblazers in that?
I think that there were a few before this. I cannot pinpoint them exactly, but I feel like there have been.
Because I think
The Message by Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I think that opening has like a little bit of tongue in cheek. Like obviously, it's a very serious message, and it was a very controversial one whenever it got released. But I think there's like a little bit of humor to it, and I think that would eventually carry on. Like I think especially like Slim Shady would kind of go back to this and be like, hey, how do I get out a message, but also have like a little bit of fun with this. I love like the opening when it's like prosecuting attorneys are MC Ren, Ice Cube, and then Easy motherfucking E. like of the ones that you add motherfucking, it's Easy E. And then yeah, Ice Cube. You could almost nickname him MC Mustard because he is sharp. With his lyrics and his delivery. I was rapping something at work today, and one of the cooks was like, "Oh, so you're a rapper, huh?" And I'm like, "Yeah, my name is MC Mustard." But yeah, like Andrew said, that last one, it's like scroll down here, like, wait, that's a lie. That's a goddamn lie. I want justice. And like,
yeah,
doesn't that sound like a lot of people right now? It's like,
yeah,
I want justice. I don't know what it's like in the States right now, but as of recording, yesterday there was like massive protests going on about LGBTQ rights, and it's not good, but yeah.
There's a cop in Philadelphia right now who this is real prevalent for. Yeah, let's go to Cody.
Yeah.
Deserving of the list. Hard to sing along with for certain reasons. Yeah. And they use the term narcotta, which I like.
Great. These three
that's all I got to say about that.
These three white guys are going to be moving on to number 176, In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins.
So the one that had this high in the two songs is Bar. Like 136 Little Freebird. Give me 129 In the Air Tonight. Oh God, so great.
Blinding Lights doesn't look so bad now, does it?
Shut the hell up. Come on, let's go.
Still better songs than
that. So yeah, 460. Perfect placement. I think if we were doing this in like the 90s, I think this is a little bit higher. The things that I do like about it, I love, similar to how we were talking about, I think it was Dance Yourself Clean, where it starts off with the drum and you can follow that. But then I think that does a really good job whenever the synth comes in, because it's like really slow and it doesn't like drag the song. Like you can still kind of bop along with the drum beats. the little moments of I remember, and then how it kind of just it stops. Like they're adding like a little bit of like flange on it. I don't know if that's the correct music term, but like there's definitely a knob that they're turning on there. But I guess the last thing that I'll say, obviously, like the big moment that's got it meme to death, like "Strangers of You and Me," somebody started like, I think somebody knocked someone's door to that, and that's how I knock doors now. It's just like if I need to go to somebody's house, it's and then they just know it's me.
Amazing. I'm gonna have to do that now, actually.
Yeah.
So the thing that I think that this song does better than a lot of other songs is the atmosphere. That build up at the beginning is just incredible. Just that drum pad, just starting it off, building a foundation, and then, as you said, those synths come in, and they create this like nighttime kind of hazy atmosphere. And that guitar that just kind of like has that little scream in it, and just like it builds and builds, and then suddenly you get Phil's voice, and it's like it's like slightly distorted, and it just amplifies the mood even more, and it's haunting. And then his voice starts to build a little bit more and more through the song as the anger in his voice starts to really come out. And there are a few things more uncomfortable than somebody who's really angry, but they're talking to you in a normal tone, and it's just stretched out enough that you really understand the rage that's hiding behind the vocals. And then you hit the point that you were talking about, that I remember, and then just pause. So there's like a little rest there to really set in like Phil's mood in this moment. I remember, don't worry, how could I ever forget? It's just really well told. It's a story about emotion more than necessarily a plot. And then you get that build with the drums, and just it explodes at the end. Oh my god. Seeing, like, if you can find it, there's a version of him doing this live. I want to say in like the late 2000s or early 2010s or something like that. And it's absolutely incredible. Yeah, masterpiece of a song. But let's go to Cody.
The myth of the song is way better than the song. The one that, because it's not true, you know.
Hey, remember that song by Phil Collins, "In the Air of the Night," about that guy that could have saved another guy from drowning?
And he invited him to the show and shined a light on him and sang the song instead of calling the cops. And it's a story my dad told me. My dad told me the song. My history teacher told me the song about Phil Collins and doing this. And my question at both of them is, why didn't he call the cops? I never understood it, but whatever. He waited all those years to invite him to a concert to sing "In the Air Tonight." Interesting.
It never actually happened, people.
Never happened. It's about divorce. Interesting. By Collins. Like Collins said it himself. It's about divorce. So, or he wrote it while going through divorce. My thing is, this song is cool. Like, it's an entertaining song. It's now been in the pop culture for long enough. It gets that overplayed thing. And The Hangover, like, has ruined this song for me, because I cannot think of this song without thinking of Mike Tyson and punching Zach Galifianakis in the face. Like, so good. There's Jungle Cat in the bathroom. Like, overall,
it's one of the best physical gags in a film ever.
It looks. They do such a good job with the delivery and like look, top notch. 460, yes. 129, crazy. But Phil Collins is really good. I think I've said this on the show. He's the, who do I think he's, like, I said that. I don't know.
Peter Gabriel. Yeah, I know you said that.
Give me Phil Collins. Oh yeah, that's when I learned that band isn't fake. The band's real.
Yeah, Genesis.
No, the other band. What's the other band?
NXS? What?
Or maybe I'm not. Whatever. Move on.
All right, yeah, we'll move on.
I swore there was a band that we talked about it that I believe was a fake band, but it was a
The
real
Monkees?
I don't remember. No.
Sorry, moving on.
We're on
175.
to something else.
Say It Loud. I'm Black and I'm Proud by James Brown. Brooklyn, you're gonna be starting us off.
I wish that James Brown kind of had did like the Tom Petty thing, where it was like Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. There really should be there should be a credit to the band here with a lot of his songs, especially Get Up. I think the band is just carrying so much of this because you have the guitar is used so effectively in it, how it kind of it's coming in after the horns to kind of give a little bit of a response, and the horns in this are great because it's a little kind of trill at the start. But then when you get into second verse and onwards, you realize, oh, that was just the first part of that riff. They were going to add on more to it. But also, the song title itself, I think is very, very important. And it doesn't what's the argument for this coming off the list? I guess you would say. And yeah, it's always good having it's very wholesome, I guess, especially whenever you have kids responding to it, where it's hey, and James Brown, who was an idol at the time, I don't think his drug use was that prevalent at the time.
Just don't use his bathroom.
No. But yeah, the chorus alone.
Yeah, this is one of those ones where normally when it comes to James Brown stuff, I always respect the man as a vocalist, and I always tend to point out that the band is doing a lot of heavy lifting. The band still is doing a lot of heavy lifting. The Famous Flames, I think they were still the Famous Flames at this point. Yeah, their groove and their tightness is impeccable. This is one though where I think James Brown really does stand out. There's just a charisma and a swagger and a confidence about the way that he's delivering these lines. And it's really impactful. Once again, though, 3 white guys talking about this song. Amazing. But yeah, it's just a super tight, well done, powerful, impactful song that still works today. So let's move on to our third white guy on the panel, Cody.
Yeah, I think the song's fine. I think James Brown has better songs that I enjoy more. I think this gets there for you guys for instrumental versions of it. I think that's why you credit the band and stuff. I think he's still good, in overall, but again, still one of my favorite parts of all time is of the movie Get On Up is when the girl uses his bathroom and he who the hell took a shit in James Brown's bathtub? It's so funny. He gets so angry and so mad. It's great. But yeah, I think James Brown definitely deserves representation on this list. I think his voice is crazy. If his drug use wasn't well known, watching the man, you can watch now and be drugs. Drugs. The man sweats way too much to not be on something.
All right.
I understand people sweat. That's drugs. Yeah. You don't that much without something.
Oh, we may have to clip that for something later on down the line. I don't know what, but all right, moving on to 174. Groove is in the Heart by D-Light. Brooklyn, you're up.
Oh, okay. Anyways, so I think shout out to Caleb Bowman. I think he is probably of the community. I think he's the biggest stan of the song. I love the opening of it. You have that guitar lick that kind of gets you into the feel, but not so much the tempo. But then you hear the dig, and then the hi-hats come in, and then that's when you really get to kind of ramp it up. I think the opening verse of this is really cool. I think it's the only song that we're talking about that has succotash in the lyrics, like my supper dish by Succotash Wish, and then how the like. I think the music video does a really good job of it as well, especially you get into like the groove is in the heart, and then how she's kind of like she's dancing as she's like holding the note, and I think that's the entire energy of the song. I remember throwing this on at work one night, like while a band was on break, and everybody just kind of looked around. And it's like, oh, this song is on. It's a great one. And it got to the part where Q-Tip was doing his verse, and everybody was just kind of like to themselves, kind of like swaying along with the beat. I think I talked about it on the show previously. Big Mouth used this for whenever, I think it's like for John Mulaney's character's parents, whenever they meet. This is the song that pops up in his mother's head when he meets. I believe, I think it's Richard Kind that plays his dad, which is spot on casting if you've watched the show. But yeah, a great. I think of this section, it is my favorite song to dance to. But in the overall conversation, I think this is like top 10.
There's nothing left for you to do but dance. Honestly, I have one friend who I do theater with that anytime that this song pops on, he obviously just drops everything that he's doing and he has to start dancing. It is such a fun song. And like the making of this song, like this is incredible. First of all, you have the three members of D-Light, and then, of course, you have Q-Tip from A Tribe Called Quest. Then you had Bootsy Collins just randomly nearby and being like, you guys, I want to work with you guys on this song. And then you had Maceo Parker, who was James Brown's saxophonist and Parliament Funkadelic saxophonist. And he was the saxophonist for Prince for a while, too. Like, everybody who worked on this song is some of the best in their freaking craft. Yeah, it is just so fun. The lyrics don't mean a damn thing, to be completely honest with you, other than the parts where it's telling you to dance. That Horton Hears a Who line is so stupid, but it works so great in the atmosphere that this song creates. Yeah, it is just one of those perfect dance songs. I bet Cody has danced to this one a couple times at a couple weddings, maybe.
You said Boatman something about this?
Yeah, I think Boatman really likes this song.
This song is about as chaotic as Caleb Boatman, so that makes a lot of sense. I'm fully on board with that. This song's got too much. Like, it's a hamster wheel going 7 different directions for me. I can get it. I hear the beat, but I'm just like, stop. Like, no.
You don't like the slide whistles?
No. Talk about one of the things that I definitely don't like in my life is a slide whistle. I want that on the record. Your Wi-Fi sucks. Interesting. Welcome to a live show.
I know. But I'm back. All right. Moving on.
I'm getting really nervous because there's 3 songs left. I'm just like, what are we doing here? These are the final ones of this. This is really upset.
Feel Good Inc. by Gorillaz. I'm going to start us off with this one. Because De La Soul on this song, man, they are the glue that holds this song together. That rap verse is just absolutely perfect. The wild laughter. I'm trying to remember which member. I think it's Trugoy the Dove does that. And but the rest of the song is great too. That bass line is fantastic. I learned how to play that bass line. It's so simple, but it's so much fun. And it's just produced incredibly well. Like the whooshing sound, like wind effect, is placed perfectly in there. Damon Albarn is a very talented vocalist, and this is one of those songs that really gets to show that off. It's way too high on our combined list, in my opinion, but I think it deserves its spot.
Yeah. I think of our generation, it makes sense why this is on here. I think this is the first Gorilla song that everybody kind of familiarized with
Either
themselves
this
with,
or Clint Eastwood.
or Clint Eastwood. Yeah. But yeah. In the looping aspect, I'll tell you why I like it. That bass line is very simple and very catchy. But I love how the guitar is kind of paired with it, because whenever the bass is holding the note, then the guitar comes in, and it kind of like, it almost acts like it's gonna go away, but then you get that nice little slide, and I think that's a really good part on like re-listen, and it's just like, it's a thing that you kind of look for when you go back into the loop. Another great moment in this, when you get to like, they just have to go because they don't know whack, and then you just get like, I feel like somebody was kind of waiting for them to say whack, and then they're on the synth, and it's just boom, like this really big kind of chord. If there's anything that you listen to after the show, go listen to De La Soul.
Yes.
Like, please go listen to them. I don't think they were on my conversation of top 10 rap groups, like when I did that list like way back, like I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago now. But they would definitely be in there. I think they just add so much to it, and it's like, it's sad because when you look this up, like even on Spotify, or when you go to Google it, it just says Gorillaz. De La Soul needs to be there, because like they are the jelly, I guess, of the peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Well, for the longest time, they weren't legally allowed to license their stuff on streaming services. They couldn't release any of their stuff. Their stuff was only became available to listen to like a few months ago. So yeah, there was like a long legal battle, which is why they weren't credited on this. So, but let's go to Cody, get his thoughts on Feel Good Inc.
Yeah, you couldn't. I don't think I would have been able to pick out the title of the song personally. It's a song I've known. I know it's featured in the song, but like overall, it's been like part of growing up. I've listened to this song a ton. It's just not like something I like have an automatic like draw to, but it's definitely a song that plays. So it just it's so interesting like how they construct this song and like how it sounds, and it's so unique, and like even if it's not like your type of music, I think it can play for a lot of different people. So definitely deserving. 189.5, 391 is where I would probably sit. But yeah.
All right, let's move on then to number 172, the penultimate song on this section of the list, Sultans of Swing by Dire Straits. Brooklyn's gonna go first.
I have to use my Switch now. That's
all right. So my name's Brooklyn Vale. I have the song too friggin' low. It needs to be higher. I was talking about it earlier. Mark Knopfler is a guitarist that isn't talked about enough. Just because of like what he was doing, because in the general scheme of guitar, there's like 2 or 3 different kind of styles. Like there's you can use a pick or whatever. You can use finger style, where you're using like mostly 4, sometimes all five digits. There's the flamenco style, where it's like the really kind of Latin influence. But then Mark is kind of on his own, where I forget the official name, but it's basically he's using like 3 fingers, and it's almost like crab claws or something, or like almost like a claw grip or something. And I think that really shines in this song, especially like the opening riff. It starts on like that minor chord, and then it progresses down, and it's like really just 3 chords, but there's so many notes that he's hitting within those. And then I like whenever you get to I think what's the line here? I don't know, right? Playing old guitar. Where is it? Well, it's.
I'll talk while you're.
You know.
Once again, this is another one where it's the atmosphere of the song that really helps with this. It's like walking into a smoky back room at a London club, where you just happen to find this incredible band called the Sultans of Swing. There's even a little shade at another band that uses horns in their act, and they're like, they're the Sultans that play Creole. But yeah, I just like love the way that Mark Knopfler describes everybody in the band. Like he's got a daytime job, he's doing all right, or he strictly plays rhythm. He doesn't want to make it cry or sing. That final verse, though, that one I love. The man steps up to the microphone just as the time bell rings, says good night, and like all that stuff. It just creates a scene so perfectly. And that guitar line in this song, it's one of my favorite guitar riffs in music history. It's just so well produced, and it's instantly memorable. It sticks with you. It's catchy. Just like the way that it's just kind of like grooving all over the place it's an amazing song. I love this one. It just creates such a perfect scene.
The line in particular, when like in the first verse in particular, a band is blowing Dixie double four time. That's whenever they get into like the root, the root chord or whatever, and there's a nice like kind of resolve to it, and I like how it kind of structures it because like it basically goes like the first line starts in a minor, the second line starts in a minor, the third one is like the major where it sounds kind of whole, but then they go right back into the minor. I kind of like that arrangement of it.
Cody, what do you think of the Sultans of Swing?
Meh. Think it's fine.
I could see him being more like a walk of life guy.
It just didn't add a lot to meh. Yeah. I didn't love it. I was really concerned that this was going to be the final list for this playlist because but now the one song better, so I'll take that. So overall, yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on to that last one. Jesus Walks by Kanye West.
Sorry, I gotta do something here. We're gonna be using our veto.
That's called a veto.
I figured it was going to be coming anyways, given our previous conversations on Kanye. When I was listening to the song, I was like, the riff's good, but I don't necessarily like the lyrics that are going on.
So you both agree on the veto here?
I think that it's too high on my list, but I think that it deserves a spot personally. But Brooklyn, continue on.
I'm like whatever.
So what are you putting in its place?
So, I'm going to give you an opportunity to guess because I think you can guess this one. I'm going to give you I'm going to give you the main riff, and I'll see if you can name this. You know this song. You've heard this song before.
I'd rather get shot in the head than do this. Go ahead.
Blackwater by the Doobie Brothers.
Oh, Blackwater.
I like to hear something. Dixieland, pretty mama, come and take me.
Take you by the hand.
I'll by the hand, talk, take me by the hand.
I respect this. Okay. I didn't have to use a veto. I still think Kanye West's like run of albums is something art versus artist. His run of College Dropout, those three, some of just insane. What he was able to accomplish. He backed the H-Man, which you can't come back from. So probably smart to take him out. And what a banger song to pick.
So yeah, like whenever I was a kid, I think this kind of had like the radio fuzz to it, where it was on the radio, and I was like, it's okay. But then like as a guitar player, and then like re-listen to it again as an adult, and like seeing people perform this, man, what an intricate freaking song! Like that riff that I was playing there, I could play that for forever, just because of how much is going on, but yet how simple it is. Like it's a very very open kind of concept, and it immediately has like kind of like the little twang in like that opening note, but then you hit that nice like the nice open D. I love the like So there are aspects of this that you can almost attach to from like scenes from Italian restaurant where there's these very like intricate kind of key changes. Like the opening chord there was like an A minor, but then they eventually use like A major, which like songs like I'm Still Standing do really well in changing from like minor to major. But then the ending of this, how intricate that is, like just like the call and answer kind of round aspects, and then like the band comes out for a little bit, and then they come right back in. I think it starts off with the bass line. The great thing about this, if you watch like the music video or if you watch certain live aspects of it, Michael McDonald comes in a little bit near the end that you don't really hear in the radio version, and he's just doing Michael McDonald stuff, like this very like high kind of like falsetto, and I think it just adds so much to an already great song. Yeah, very, very wholesome. And then yeah, it's a song that instantly has everybody clapping at the end.
All right, Cody, any quick thoughts on this one? Yeah. Yes, you.
You don't get to talk?
It was Brooklyn's veto. I decided that I was going to let Brooklyn have the floor on this.
But I also went to you though to make sure that like because I had a couple in mind, but I was like, let me make sure that he's okay with this. So like what made you, so like what made you think like this is a top 500 song?
Basically the construction of it. I personally like some other Doobie Brothers songs more, but I think that the fact that they were able to make every single piece of this song memorable and like stick with you, I think is just like a really, really well done. So, and I love the vocals on this, like especially towards the end, the pretty mama come and take me by the hand, pretty mama, like all that part. It's so great. It's a song that could have easily fallen apart at the seams, but it holds up together perfectly, like an amazing piece of furniture. So
I'm really surprised this didn't make the list in general, because this song is constructed of a way that both fits your guys' kind of style. It's got some old style, but like how it's like instrument, like how it's set up, or however you phrase that.
The arrangement, I guess. Yeah,
the arrangement would seem like it would hit all your guys' like spots. Like if I'm like more well versed, like this is a song that should be like in my veto list. Like this song is so good, like how it starts and how it just goes, and like I want to hear that funky Dixieland. Like it's just such a catchy song and so much fun. And yeah, well done on the use of veto. I think like overall, I'm really okay with this song rounding out this list. So good job.
Okay, Brooklyn saving a veto for Cody, but using his own this episode. With that, let's just quickly go back over the list for this week. So at 190, I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry by Hank Williams. 189, You Really Got Me by The Kinks. Number 188, Blinding Lights by The Weeknd. Number 187, Blueberry Hill by Fats Domino. 186, Summer in the City by The Lovin' Spoonful. 185, It Takes Two by Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock. 184, Flashlight by Parliament. 183, Oh Pretty Woman by Roy Orbison. 182 is Freebird by Lynyrd Skynyrd. 181 is Anarchy in the UK by the Sex Pistols. 180 is 180 is Brown Eyed Girl by Van Morrison. 179 is Heroin by the Velvet Underground. 178 is Ace of Spades by Motorhead. 177 is Fuck the Police by NWA. 176 is In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins. 175 is Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud by James Brown. 174 is... No. 174 is Grooves in the Heart by Dean Light. 173 is Feel Good Inc. by Gorillaz. 172 is Sultans of Swing by Dire Straits. And 171 is Now Blackwater by the Doobie Brothers. Cody, I am putting the next playlist in the chat right now. Please
Don't lie to me.
give us your first opinions.
Ooh. 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 Oh! Best list so far.
Ooh.
Yeah, looking at this right now,
Oh
I
my
already know
gosh.
what Cody's favorite song is.
I don't know if you do.
I don't know if you.
You-
Wait. There's one on there that it could be.
Listen, there is one that is very high up in the career, but this one also features the first part of who I consider the queen. So I'm real excited.
Okay.
I love her, and there's already been some slanderous shit said about my girl. So this is exciting. That has some bangers, and there's another song that is so good from like thought Old Country was good on the last one. This next one is fire. Let's go.
All right. Well, Cody's excited, guys. I hope you are too. Tune in next week where we keep doing the same old shit, I guess. So for Cody Newberry, Brooklyn Vale, I'm Andrew Barr. Thank you all for watching Off Our Stones, subsidiary of Like 500 Stones, subsidiary of the video store. As Brooklyn said, buy our shit and keep on
Driving
rocking.
safe.